A high five.
Ready?
What advice, what top tips would you give to leaders in Agile transformation?
Well, I think the first one would be get really clear on what it is that you want to achieve. Because I think a lot of times when especially larger organizations start to bring in frameworks and new ways of doing things, that gets lost, and so every change has a cost, right? And if you're bringing in and you're changing absolutely everything all at once, then you're incurring a lot of cost, but what for? What is it that you're targeting and trying to achieve? So get really clear on what it is that you want to do, and then work out how you're going to measure that, and make sure that you've got a few different metrics to look at it, because you get what you measure, so if you just concentrate on one thing, then so really clear on what you want and communicate that. For me, the role of leadership, it kind of comes down to three things. It's vision, which is where is it that we're trying to get? What is our vision of change? What are we trying to achieve? And then there's the alignment towards that vision and communication. And keep saying it. When you think you've said it 20 times, do it again and do it twice as much. It's just, do not stop communicating that clear goal that you have.
I would add all that, and don't be arrogant. I think, I'll be honest, that I think I've seen more leaders drag things down by their lack of humility, their own arrogance, or their
fear.
I mean, there's definitely fear involved. It's like if you're going to be involved in any type of organisational change, right? You're changing the shape of your organisation, you're looking to change the culture, and you're a leader within the organisation, whatever layer of the hierarchy or whatever part of the organisation you're being, if you have leadership responsibility, don't be in that situation thinking, well, it's all good, I don't need to change, I'm alright, I'm the finished product, me. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. You have to accept that if you are going to have to be educated in something new because you're trying something new, then you have to begin to demonstrate new behaviours. And if you're not going to demonstrate those behaviours and all you're going to do is talk about it and think you don't have to change, then everything else will change around you. Then you end up being an anchor. You're an albatross around the organisation's neck because you're the one always dragging it back. And it will get to a point where more and more voices are for the change and you're the person that's holding it back. And I think that some of the biggest evidence I've noticed of that historically has always been a level of public indifference. So in a room and you're talking with your fellow leaders, that they are not actively speaking against any of it, nor are they speaking for any of it, and that's a problem.
Yeah.
That's a problem, because I often find when there is public indifference, there's private dissent, and that private dissent is toxic, and they will use very non-constructed political methods, one-on-one conversations, mistruths, half-truths, spurious data, nice headline-grabbing things such as no teams have met their sprint forecast, not backed up by any reality. And then that slow private dissent, that toxicity will spread. And then if there's somebody on the fence and they say you're a new person of the organisation, you're an agent for change, then they're going to want to side with the people that they've known for longer than they are with the new heretic who's coming in and is challenging their world.
Well, and the person that is in charge of their salary and bonus as well.
Yeah, but I think when we're in the leadership teams, when the people have a good relationship with their boss, they get given the benefit of the doubt a lot, which is completely understandable. But the problem, and it takes a long time for those toxic behaviours, for this private dissent, for this lack of real buy-in to manifest in a way which is actionable. So I think that when I think of advice to give to leaders, I would maybe come in at a slightly left field and say, help your fellow leaders. If you see that they are being publicly indifferent, if they are privately dissenting, call them out, support them along the journey, find some way to get them help or to get them another job. Because if your organisation is going in a certain way and there's all this effort going into it, you don't want to waste that momentum, you don't want to waste that time, you don't want to waste your organisation's money, because every time you're sitting down in a meeting, you're leaving without agreement, you're pouring your organisation's money down the drain.
Mm-hmm.
And that isn't the way that any leader should be acting.
Yeah, and I think as you were talking, like the thing that kept coming into my mind was lead by example.
Yeah.
You know, it's a very phrase that's used a lot, but be the change that you want to see.
Yeah,
I know that
great,
sounds very contrived, but it's true. If that's what you want to be, if you want your people to act differently, if you want them to collaborate more, if you want them to feel safe to speak up, because if we want these disruptive new ideas that all companies want to, and they want to succeed, if you want those, you have to have your people feel safe so that they're going to speak up, so they can collaborate and get better ideas together. And that, if you don't currently have that, then that's a cultural change that you need, and that culture is so often determined by the leader.
I think, you know what, for me, if a leader was to say to me, what's the best feedback I could get, I would say that, like, best is a strong word, but I would be inclined to say that someone says you're a very good role model.
Mm.
If someone's telling you you're a good role model when you're doing something right, if they can model their behaviours after yours and it's going in the right direction, things are getting better, agile or not, but if things are getting better and you're finding ways to solve problems, that's a wonderful piece of feedback to get from someone. Yeah, leading by example and role modelling are fantastic tools.